And welcome back to Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports, and with a delayed broadcast available on mybasin.com. Getting ready for the second leg of a doubleheader today from Talent, Oregon at Culver Fields as the Hornets visit the Phoenix Pirates. It was a 4-2 win for Henley in the opener. They are 5-0 in conference play. The Pirates looking to snap their skid against the Hornets, who are 1-4 in conference play. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the opener that we saw just a few minutes ago. We'll also get ready with the Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups ahead of first pitch on 104.3 and 960 Sports with our delayed broadcast on mybasin.com.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, the retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce you to the Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups. And we'll start with the visitors today, and that is our Henley Hornets. Leading off at shortstop is Connor Shively. Mark Carpenter, the pitcher, bats second, followed by Jacoby Tacchini, the catcher, hitting third. Bo Pyle is at second base hitting cleanup, followed by Corbin Hamilton, the first baseman, hitting fifth. Shivam Patel is in left field, batting sixth, followed by Chase Barrett, the right fielder. Derek Cox is at third, hitting eighth, and Ryan Douglas rounds up the Henley order. He is batting ninth. He goes up against Sam Schiltz on the mound today for Phoenix. Behind him is the Phoenix batting order. Schiltz leads off, and Caden Cunningham, the catcher, bats second. Chris Phillips is at shortstop, hitting third, followed by Luke Jennings, the cleanup hitter, batting at second base is the cleanup hitter. Caden Sousa bats fifth at first base. Caden Darcy in right field, hitting sixth. Andre Marsing is at third base, batting seventh, followed by Theo Hodgson at the designated hitter spot, hitting eighth. And Luca Petrone bats ninth in center field. Mark Carpenter getting the nod for Henley on the mound today. Again, the Hornets won the opener today 4-2. It was tied 1-1 heading into the seventh. Henley scored 3 in the top half. Phoenix got the tying run on base, but they were unable to finish the job and get those runs across. And so Henley extending their winning streak to 6 games overall and 15 over the Phoenix Pirates dating back to 2021. But Phoenix looking for a change of fortunes today in the nightcap. If you could call it that, it's still a beautiful sunny day here in Talent and 67 degrees. Shively, first pitch swing and lifts one into left field, foul. And the count 0-1. Again, Sam Schiltz on the mound today for Phoenix. We could take a look at the stats for the right-hander as he is getting his 4th start of the season. Enters play with a 1-0 record. In 23 1/3 innings pitched, he has an ERA of 3.3. Connor Shively hits a line drive into right field. It gets under the right fielder's glove and rolls to the fence. Shively digging for 3. A leadoff single turned into a 3-bagger after an E9 has the Hornets cooking just 1 batter into the 1st inning. Here's Mark Carpenter. Again, the starting pitcher today for Henley, but getting his first opportunity here in this one. You take a look back at Game 1 for Carpenter. He was 2 for 4 with a couple of singles and a couple of flyouts. He also came around to score twice. Here's a pitch. Low in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher, Cunningham. 1-0 the count. Around the diamond for Phoenix. Marsing at third. Phillips at short. Jennings at second. Sousa at first. Buckmaster in left. Patron in center. And Darcy in right. Carpenter, the league leader in hits. Trying to add another and bring a run home for his team. And a balk is going to bring home Shively. So no need for a base hit. So the base umpire is making a point via technicality, really, that Schiltz balked. So they're saying that Schiltz didn't say whether or not he was in the windup or in the stretch. So as he delivered from the windup, it's a balk. And so really, it was really a technicality there for the balk, but I guess all balks are technicalities. It was really the base umpire maybe it felt slighted that he wasn't privy to the conversation to pitch out of the stretch or a windup. Regardless, is he... Oh, brother. Well, it's all a little silly around here, but a 1-0 lead for Henley and Mark Carpenter at the plate. Here's the pitch. That one skips to the plate. The count now 2-0 to Carpenter. Schiltz a little frustrated out there. I got to say, it's hard to really disagree with him out there. He's doing something that just about everybody in high school baseball does, which is pitch out of the windup with a runner on third. But again, just I guess the base umpire didn't like it so much, so it's a balk. This one's lifted into foul territory, out of play. The count 2-1. Even looks like Coach Marvin Rosser for Henley having a conversation with that base umpire, saying, what exactly is the rule there? Because I don't know. That's just frankly something I'd never seen before. It's a 2-1 count to Carpenter, and the base is empty. Henley leads 1-0. Here's the pitch. Carpenter takes one high. The count 3-1. Three and one once more to Carpenter. Carpenter chases one high out of the zone, lifts it into shallow left field. It's going to be tough with the sun. That's in and out of the glove of the shortstop, Phillips. Can't squeeze it. Carpenter was gunning the whole way and wound up at second. That's going to be an E6, allowing Carpenter into scoring position for Jacoby Tacchini. 2 errors in the first 2 batters. Wonder if there's some emotional tax from the end of the last game for Phoenix, a game in which they were tied 1-1, like I said, and You battle hard throughout that whole game only to lose. Not only that, in the very last play of the game, your starting catcher gets ejected for this one. We haven't really talked about that. He got tossed for apparently saying something to the base umpires. Takini, first pitch swinging down the line into left. Carpenter is going to score. Takini digging for two. He's going to slide in there. He is out at second. But an RBI double. An RBI single. Takini out on the base paths gives Henley a 2-0 lead. Bo Pyle bats now with one away and the base is empty. But again, I was talking about Phoenix. It's got to be a little bit taxing to have to go through the last about 30 minutes as they have, even a little bit longer. So just trying to refocus. Coach Hutchinson for Phoenix tried to focus up his team. I was hearing him call for just about everybody to get over there and have a team meeting before this game started. But so far not panning out for the Pirates as they'd hooked down 2-0 in the first inning, still with one away, and Bo Pyle at the dish. Pyle earlier today for Henley was 1 for 3, had an RBI double in the first inning, and then was held hitless the rest of the game, but pitched 6 2/3 innings on the mound and got himself a win there. The pitch from Schiltz, Pyle chases 1-1. Pyle steps back in as Corbin Hamilton waits on deck for Henley as Schiltz pitches from the windup. That one's going to miss. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Pyle lifts one into left field. The left fielder jumps to make the catch. Buckmaster, a nice play in left field for the second out. And here's Corbin Hamilton with 2 away in the top of the first inning. Henley up 2-0. Hamilton in the opener today was 2 for 4. Had a couple of singles and an RBI in the 7th inning. Helped his team get out in front in the late going in that one. Hoping to start a bit of a 2-out rally here in the first with his team already up a pair. Corbin, as he stares down Schiltz. Schiltz was taking his time out there on the mound, called time. And now he'll have to wait for Schiltz once more. Here's the pitch. That one finds the outer third. 0-1. Looked to be a two-seam or maybe a circle change. Hard to tell exactly with the velocity for Schiltz, but had a little bit of run back towards the righty and broke back across the plate. Here's the pitch. Hamilton, this one's a fly ball in the infield, but again, the infielder's going to have to battle the sun to make this catch. The first baseman, Sousa, does just that and ends the inning for the Phoenix Pirates. Couple of base hits, 2 errors lead to 2 runs. No runners left for the Hornets as we go to the bottom half of the first on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Welcome back to 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Our coverage of Henley baseball continues in the bottom of the first inning. Henley leads 2-0 against the Phoenix Pirates. A 2-spot in the top of the first, and Mark Carpenter on the mound for Henley. Taking a look at Mark Carpenter on the season. As always, his numbers just amaze. Coming into today's game with his fourth start, a perfect 3-0 record in 23 innings pitched. He has a .6 ERA. Just an incredible start to the year for the reigning 4A Player of the Year. When he won it as a junior, you'd say, well, you could do it again as a senior. And you say that, and you say it maybe half jokingly. But, boy, is he having another fantastic year for the Henley Hornets. Leading off for Phoenix is Sam Schiltz, followed by Caden Cunningham, then Chris Phillips. Carpenter hoping to make quick work here. We may have a change on the lineup card. Let's see. And now having to notify Henley of a potential change. Gotcha. Okay, so here's the change. It's not actually a change at all. When the lineup card was submitted, they listed Sam Schiltz as number 3, when in fact he is number 1. And so that's it. He's just changing his number on the lineup card to number 1. Just a clerical error, and we are ready for baseball. As Mark Carpenter delivers his first pitch, it's a bouncing ball out towards second. Pyle charging. It skips off his glove and behind the second base bag. And that's going to be a leadoff base runner for the Phoenix Pirates as an E4 allows Schiltz to reach base. Go around the diamond for Henley. Jacoby Takini is catching. Derek Cox at third. Connor Shively at short. Bo Pyle at second with Corbin Hamilton at first. Shivam Patel in left. Ryan Douglas in center. And Chase Barrett in right. Here's the pitch to Cunningham. He will take a strike for an 0-1 count. Caden Cunningham earlier today was 1 for 3 and had an RBI. Here's the pitch. Swings through the fastball. Might have gotten a piece of it. Foul ball, 0-2. Couple of new faces again for Henley defensively with Cox at third and Patel in left. Now everyone knows Shivam Patel, senior for the Henley Hornets. But Derek Cox, again a freshman, playing up today, usually on the JV roster, but with Henley dealing with a couple of injuries to normal everyday starters, having to get a little creative in the order. That's why you see guys like Cox and Barrett out there in right as well. He's a part of that kind of pair too. Strike 3, swung on and missed by Cunningham. They try to backdoor Schiltz at first, but he's back safely. One away in the first, and that brings up Chris Phillips. Phillips pitched a really strong game in the opener today, pitched the entire 7 innings, and unfortunately came away with a loss as that 7th and final inning got away from him a little bit, but overall, just a strong pitching performance for the Phoenix now shortstop. First pitch to him misses low, 1-0. At the plate in the previous game, 1 for 2. Singled in the first, he walked and scored in the fourth, and he struck out in the 6th. Carpenter from the stretch with the runner on first. Going to make a move over to him. Back safely is Schiltz. About a 4-step lead off the bag for him now as Carpenter comes set. And Phillips calls time. Carpenter has been set, hasn't moved. And now he's ready. The pitch is going to be swung on and missed. It got behind Takini. Schultz advances to second, takes a big turnaround second, but he'll stay there. Count 1-1. Advancing to second, of course, was Schultz there. In scoring position, now with just one out. Carpenter looks in, gets the sign from Takini, comes together. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. The count 1-2. Carpenter just comes with that heater. So hard to get the first time through the order. You really can't tell how fast it is until you stand in the box against him. I heard that he was gunned at 91 earlier in the season, which is it's pretty darn fast if you ask me. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. That one's in the dirt. Takini knocks it down. Schultz is going to get into third standing as the ball kind of squirted away from him there. Now 90 feet away from scoring. And it is a 2-2 count at the plate to Chris Phillips. Carpenter ready to go with the 2-2. Here it is. That one's rolled out towards second. Pyle up with it. He'll throw on to first in time, but a run comes in to score as Schultz makes it a 2-1 ball game. 2 away in the inning. And here's Luke Jennings. Give Chris Phillips an RBI for that one as well. Jennings settles in. Carpenter back from working from the windup. Here's the pitch. A curveball is rolled out towards short. Shively has to backhand it. Throw across the diamond is not in time. An infield single beat out for Luke Jennings. Shively had to go into the hole to make that play and just couldn't get enough behind that throw. An infield single brings up Caden Sousa. Sousa in the opener today was 0 for 3. Flew out, grounded out, and struck out in the game. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, 0-1. Sousa, the team's second leading hitter, hitting over .320 to start the year for Phoenix. Trying to keep a first inning rally alive with the tying run on base early. Here's Carpenter. That one's hit in the air, right field. That's going to get down. Could be extra bases. Jennings. He's going to be digging for home, trying to score all the way from first. Sousa winds up at second. And a 2-out RBI double ties us up at 2. Brings up Caden Darcy. Carpenter now has to recompose himself here. Can't let this inning get away from him. Phoenix dugout on their feet. Here's the pitch to Darcy. Swung on and missed. 0-1. Darcy, a tall batting stance, awaits the delivery from Carpenter. Swung on and missed, 0-2. See where Carpenter goes here on the 0-2. He's got a couple different pitches to work with. He got the classic changeup, 2-seam, 4-seam fastball. Got a really nice running slider and a curveball that dips off the plate. Let's see. Carpenter on the 0-2 looked to be the 2-seam fastball that got Darcy chasing out of the zone for strike 3, but the Pirates, they score 2 on a couple of base hits. They leave one stranded. The Hornets commit 1 error as we head to the second inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Top of the second inning, tied 2 apiece between the Hornets and the Pirates. Due up in the top half of the second, it is Shivam Patel, Chase Barrett, and Derek Cox. Phoenix was able to tie us up in the bottom half of the first after a couple of base hits, helped out by a Henley error. And now Hornets trying to jump back out in front. They've taken games 1 and 2 of a 4-game season series. Back on Wednesday, it was a win for Henley, 17-4. They won the opening game of a doubleheader today, 4-2. Now play this one out, and then again, these teams meet one more time in the final regular season game of the year. Here's the first pitch to Patel. He'll take strike 1. Looking at Shivam this season, a .333 hitter. Although a small sample size, in 3 previous at-bats, he has 1 double. Here's the 0-1. Dips out of the zone, 1-1. Multi-sport athlete is Shivam Patel, also played football for the Henley Hornets, who won a state championship in 2023 and made it back to the state championship game this past fall. Although they lost that one to Marist. Count 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Ground ball. It is going to be gloved by the third baseman, Marsing. Spinning around, makes a throw, and that is a great play by the third baseman, Marsing, for the first out in the second inning. Ranging over in the hole, made it almost from the shortstop position. Did a little twirl and made the throw. Pretty play for the first out. Here's Chase Barrett, who has been used as a courtesy runner on multiple occasions for Henley. But as I look at the book, he's still looking for his first hit of the season. He takes ball 1 here. Only 3 games played. This is actually his first at-bat for Chase Barrett. Typically a JV player, but getting some time here. Again, like I said, with some of the other Hornets a bit banged up, missing some time. Here he takes an inside pitch, 2-0. I've said it, for some of these younger players for Henley, with getting this opportunity, just getting these reps, seeing a new level of pitching, always important. I think a guy who could tell you that is on his very own team, and that would be Jacoby Takini, a guy who finished up his 8th grade year. Made a move to go play with the Klamath Falls Falcons and saw some great pitching. And now here in his freshman year of high school is just raking. I mean, he is hitting the ball so well. So that's a good example of what guys like Chase Barrett should expect for playing a couple games here at the varsity level. You see some good pitching. You take that and you hopefully can use it to better your at-bats at the JV level and improve and be ready to play at this level as an everyday player in a couple of seasons as he takes that pitch down, 3-1. Schultz ready to deliver the 3-1. Swung through that one, and the count runs full. After Barrett, it's Derek Cox. Delivery on the way from Schultz. Hit foul, out of play. Henley scored 2 in the first inning, helped out by a Phoenix error, had a couple base hits and an RBI from the aforementioned Jacoby Takini. The 3-2 pitch to Chase Barrett with 1 out, misses high, and a walk issued to the Henley right fielder brings up Derek Cox. Cox in the opener today was 1 for 3. He singled in the 6th, and he also walked in the 4th. Move over to first. Back safely is Barrett. He's a dangerous guy on the base paths, the guy who has most of experience on the bases. Like I said, a courtesy runner throughout most of the year for Chase Barrett. This time he earned a walk to get there. We'll see if they've got anything moving. First pitch misses high to Derek Cox. 1-0. Schultz, the pitcher, feeling a little dirt in there in front of the rubber. Agrees on the signal from Cunningham, and here we go with the 1-0 count. That one misses also high, 2-0. After Cox in the order, it is Douglas. Middle infield, cheating for a double play here. Schultz takes a look over at first and now comes set and delivers. This one lifted out of play, foul, 2-1. Cox, tall batting stance, settles back in. Wind picking up a little bit out to right field. Here's the pitch. That one misses high. Count now 3-1. Barrett taking an aggressive secondary lead out there at first. Wondering a 3-1 count. Think maybe Derek Cox, if you could put the bat on it, maybe try to get something moving out there on the base paths, or if they let it stay in a 3-1. This one's popped up, foul. The count is full. See if Barrett, Sean Teeters is administering his signs to the first base runner, Barrett, in a full count with one out. Maybe a risk to send a runner here, but we'll see if they decide to in the full count. Barrett staying put. The pitch grounded to third. That is a foul ball. Just barely. Cox thought he had something going there, but just went left to the third base bag, foul. Cycle in a few game balls from this at-bat. Derek Cox has fouled off quite a few pitches to be full in the count here. Top of the second inning, tied at 2 between the Hornets and the Pirates. Catcher sets up on the outer third for Cox. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back. Count remains full, 3-2. Again, after Cox in the order, it's Ryan Douglas, then Connor Shively. But this, an absolute battle at the plate. The freshman seeing a lot of pitches. Move over to first, and Barrett dives back safely. Set on the mound is Schultz. Once more, the righty delivers. That one misses low. And a walk delivered to Cox, and that is a one battle for the freshman for the Hornets. Short discussion on the mound between pitcher and catcher as Barrett advances to second. Cox aboard at first after back-to-back walks. Now Ryan Douglas. The Hornets try to reclaim the lead here in the second inning. In a good position, too, with just one out. Again, thank you for finding us today on 104.3 and 960 Sports. A Bit of technical difficulties as far as our video stream goes. Just didn't have enough internet speed to get a live stream going, but we are recording today's game, running it as usual. And so after today's game is finished, sometime tonight would be my guess that we'll have these games uploaded for a full replay of the broadcast on mybasin.com. So, again, thank you for finding us and listening. If you've been looking for us, yeah, here we are. Douglas in an 0-1 count after fouling off the first pitch. Here's Schultz. That one misses wide, 1-1. Schultz taking his time out there on the mound. Trying to reclaim his center a little bit. Back-to-back long at-bats that resulted in walks. Here delivers one to Ryan Douglas. Hits that one in the air to left field, and it curves foul. 1-2 count now to Douglas with Shively waiting on deck. Small lead off of first for Cox, so hardly anything to speak of at all. Lead runner Barrett at second. And not a huge lead for him out there either. Here's a pitch. Douglas, a chopper to third. That is going to eat up Marsing at third, and everybody's safe. Tried to play it a bit awkwardly on a hop there, sort of stood him up. He was unable to make the play, so an E5 allows the bases to get loaded for the Hornets as the top of their order is due up. Maybe Marsing heard the footsteps of Barrett racing to third. Regardless, unable to field it cleanly. And here's Shively. Chance to do some damage here with one away and the bases loaded. Takes one upstairs, 1-0. Shively this season batting .357, 9 RBI this year for the lefty. Schultz working out of the windup now. Here's the pitch. That one misses high as well, 2-0. Big at-bat here for the future of this game. It's up to Schultz to try to keep things where they are. The pitch to Shively is in the dirt, blocked by Cunningham behind the plate, but it's 3-0. Shively did single and came around to score in the first inning. He swung at the very first pitch of the game and was able to get on base. Here's the delivery. That one also misses low, and a 4-pitch walk is going to score a Henley run. Barrett in, Cox to third, Douglas to second, Shively aboard at first. And we'll see if Phoenix makes a change here with Coach Hutchinson coming out of the dugout. Hasn't been the start that Schultz has wanted, but still an opportunity to collect himself if he stays out there. And it looks like he will. Want to remind you that today's broadcast brought to you in part by Gino's Cafe on East Main Street. They're open every morning at 6:30, serving their famous breakfast burritos. Those are served all day long, along with other menu items like burgers, monthly specials, and Italian favorites. You can order online at ilovegenos.com or on DoorDash. So no change on the mound for Phoenix quite yet. Schultz will stay out there with the bases loaded. And Mark Carpenter at the plate. A chance to open this game up for one of the best hitters in the state of Oregon. Schultz from the windup. Here he comes. Dips low, 1-0. After Carpenter, it's Jacoby Tacchini waiting on deck. He's another RBI machine. And with only one out, unless Carpenter rolls into two, Tacchini will get a chance to hit here. Here's the 1-0 to Mark. Ground ball to short. This could be a 2-ball. Phillips backhands it, throws it to second for one, and they got him there. Carpenter beats out the back end, and in the process, Derek Cox comes in to score. Henley leads 4-2. That'll put runners at the corners with two away for Jacoby Tacchini. Advancing to third on that play was Ryan Douglas. And Tacchini, who's 1 for 1 with an RBI single last inning, bats now with 2 on and 2 out, and his team leads by 2. Back to the stretch now for Schiltz. Here's the pitch. On the move from first is Carpenter. They're going to cut off the throw down to him. And now they've got Douglas stuck in a pickle. Trying to go back to third. They are going to tag him. And that will end the inning. The Hornets score 2. No base hits required, and a Phoenix error allows the Hornets to pull back out in front. To the bottom of the second we go on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
At MyBasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
The information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Bottom of the second inning, and Henley leads 4-2 over the Phoenix Pirates. Due up this inning for Phoenix is the bottom third of their order. Andre Marsing, Theo Hodgden, and Luca Petrone. Henley was able to score 2 in the top half of this inning and pull back out in front. Want to remind you, today's broadcast is brought to you by the Pacific Power Foundation, who donated nearly $70,000 in 2024 to organizations like the Lost River Bluegrass Festival, the Klamath and Lake Counties Food Bank, and the Henley High School Booster Club. Big thanks to Pacific Power for coming on board for this season of Henley baseball. Andre Marsing gets settled in for the Pirates as Mark Carpenter delivers the first pitch. Lifted in the air, shallow right. That one is going to get down foul. And strike number 1. Pretty close to being a fair ball down the right field line. Marsing is just a little bit late on that fastball from Carpenter, but that's all it takes. And here's the 0-1 from Carpenter. Curveball, swung on and missed, 0-2. Carpenter again from the windup. Base is empty, nobody out in the second. Here's the 0-2. It is offered up at and fouled off. Theo Hodgden on deck for Phoenix as Marsing awaits the 0-2 once more. Fouled off again. Count remains. Looking at Hodgson this season, he is, looks like 0 for 18 to start the year. Here he chases strike 3. Throw over to first is in time. The drop third strike, strikeout, and a 2-3 in the book. Like I said, Theo Hodgson here is 0 for his first 18 this season. Still looking for that first hit. He does have an RBI, and he's walked 3 times, but trying to get something going. Carpenter, first pitch to him. Strike 1, right down Main Street for the first pitch. Wind blowing straight away right field now. Hodgson checks his swing on a curveball, but it's in the zone, 0-2. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. The 0-2 is a check swing, misses low, 1-2. Our vantage point here at Culver Field in Talent is facing directly north towards the beautiful rolling hills here in the Rogue Valley, and the wind blowing out to the northeast. Here's the pitch. Rolled foul. Count still 1-2. That hit right off the end of the bat for Hodgson. Can't feel good on the hands. Luckily, it's a warm day. 67 degrees the temperature right now. If we're playing that game in Klamath Falls, that felt like bees just stung his hand. And Hodgson chases strike 3 out of the zone, is tagged for the out. And 2 quick outs in the inning. Back-to-back Ks for Carpenter. Brings up Luca Patron. Getting his first look at Carpenter in this one. Patron was 2 for 3 in the opener with a couple of singles in the 5th and 7th innings. Here's the pitch. Misses high and in, 1-0. Carpenter sets, kicks, fires, slider in on the hands. Patron fouls it off. That's a awkward pitch for a hitter to see coming at him. It looks like it's going to hit you out of Carpenter's hands, but you see the spin. You know it's going to be a slider if you can pick up on it. You just have to wait and hope it breaks across the plate, and he just offered up at it late to foul it off. Here, an elevated fastball. He swings underneath it in a 1-2. Good control of that slider is just so lethal for Carpenter. Here's the 1-2 now to Patron. Breaking pitch, again fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Patron, a wide batting stance. Awaits the 1-2 from Carpenter. Off-speed pitch, again fouled off by Patron. Staying alive as the Phoenix lineup turns over next with Sam Schiltz waiting on deck. Long at-bats, the early portion of this game for both teams. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. Swung on and missed. Carpenter reared back and threw the heater. Got Patron late on that one. Striking out the side for Mark Carpenter and sending us to the 3rd inning. Henley with a 4-2 lead. Back after this.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Bottom of the second inning, Henley leads 4-2. Pardon me. Top of the third inning. I'm like, lost track of myself here. Bottom of the third inning, and Henley does lead 4-2. Jacoby Tacchini, Bo Pyle, Corbin Hamilton do up this half for the Hornets. That's 3-4-5 in their order. Looking to add a couple more runs here as they won the opener today, 4-2. Our score right now. This game's played out a little bit differently, so even in the early going than that last one had. Really breezed through the previous game today. It was very fast, and this one just long at-bats. I love a good battle at the plate with these hitters. It's great. Love it when Henley hitters are able to work walks from that. We saw that quite a bit in the second inning. But a lot less first pitch swing in this game that we saw quite a bit of in the last game. Here, Tacchini, to prove me wrong, swings and fouls off the first pitch, but a lot more patience being shown the second time around, and really it has paid off for both teams, each scoring more runs or as many runs here in just the third inning than they did all of last game. So here's Tacchini with the 0-1. Line drive, that is into left field. And a leadoff single for Tacchini, and it's underneath the left fielder's glove. Buckmaster nearly letting that one get away from him, but the tall grass in the outfield keeps Tacchini at first. And that will bring up Bo Pyle after the leadoff Hornets single. Henley was able to score in the second inning 2 runs without a base hit. I suppose sort of reminiscent of what we saw when they played Mazama earlier in the season when they scored 6 runs before recording a hit. And Porter Frost, by the way, in to run for Jacoby Tacchini over there at first base. Here's Bo Pyle setting in. 0 for 1 so far today, flew out to left field in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Pyle sends that one in the air to center field. Center fielder Patron battling the sun. He will make the catch for the first out. Now stepping in is Corbin Hamilton. Corbin is 0 for 1 today. He flew out to end the first inning. Popped out to first. Bats here with a runner on first. It's Porter Frost. Move over, and he's back safely. Schultz looks in, gathers the sign from Cunningham. Checks the runner before coming set. And the pitch. Hit in the air, shallow center field. The second baseman will move over to make the catch. Jennings puts it away for the second out. And here's Shiv Patel. 0 for 1 today. Shivam grounded out to third base in the second inning. Looking for a knock here to try to add another to their lead. Again, Henley leads 4-2 in the top of the third inning against Phoenix. Here's the pitch. Patel takes one, dips underneath the zone, 1-0. After Patel in the Henley order, it's Chase Barrett. Coming set now is Schultz. And the pitch. Patel lifts that one into center field. Should be playable for Patron. Instead, it's the right fielder who doesn't have to fight the sun, Darcy. Comes in and makes the catch to end the inning. The Hornets get a base hit, but no runs. They leave him stranded. So we go to the bottom of the third and a 4-2 advantage for Henley next. 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Bottom of the third inning, and Henley leads 4-2 against the Phoenix Pirates. Leading off this inning for Phoenix, it's the top of their order. Sam Schiltz, Caden Cunningham, and Chris Phillips. Mark Carpenter still out there for Henley. No surprise there. The senior right-hander struck out the side in the second. He's hoping for a repeat of fortunes. And here we go, getting things going. Bottom of the third inning, first pitch. Fouled off into the glove of Takini, 0-1. Checking in on some other scores from around the Skyline Conference. Let's see. It looks like a final from between Hidden Valley and Klamath Union as the Mustangs defeated Klamath Union 14-1. Here's the 0-1 to Schiltz. Line drive over the head of the third baseman Cox and into left field. And a leadoff single for the Phoenix Pirates. That will bring up Caden Cunningham. Let's see, some other scores. We got a final from Mazama. Looks like the Vikings defeated Modoc 7-5 there. So Modoc has been a good team to start the year. They're 11-2 to start the season. Mazama was able to pick up a 2-run win. And the pitch from Carpenter. Grounded foul, 0-1. Looks like in the nightcap over at Kiger Stadium, so far not quite going the way of the Pelican. And right now in the top of the second inning, they trail Hidden Valley 11-0. Move over to first. Back safely is Schiltz there. Still an 0-1 count to Caden Cunningham. Carpenter delivers. Looked at for a strike, 0-2. Carpenter. He's going to get Cunningham chasing. Swung at a pitch in the other batter's box for out number 1. Great pitch there from Carpenter. Brings up Chris Phillips, who is 0 for 1 today, but he did have an RBI in the first inning. Ground ball drove in a run. Runner aboard at first. Schiltz takes his lead. Not too much to speak of as Carpenter shakes off Takini on the first opportunity. And now comes set. Here's the pitch. Runner on the move. Throw down from Takini is going to wind up in center field. Schiltz digging for 3. He is going to get in there standing. And now a runner at third. And a 1-0 count with 1 out in the third. Carpenter going to try to escape this inning, still with the lead intact. Actually, the count is, looks like 0-1. There we go, 0-1 the count. Here is the pitch from Carpenter. Taken for a strike, now the count 0-2. After Phillips, it's Luke Jennings. Here we go from Carpenter. Henley, right side of the Henley infield comes in. Left side is not coming in. They try to go outside. First baseman and the second baseman playing in on the cut of the grass. Third baseman and shortstop playing straight away for the Hornets. It's a 1-2 count at the plate to Phillips. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. Hit foul. Count remains. Right-hander for Phoenix. Starting shortstop sets in towards the back of the right-handed batter's box. Here's the pitch. Curveball hit in the air to right. Coming in is the right fielder. Barrett dives and makes the catch in foul territory. But that is going to score a run. A sacrifice fly makes it 4-3. Flash in the leather in right field. My goodness, Chase Barrett. That was a great catch. Unfortunately leads to a Phoenix run, but you can't take that away. Just an athletic play out there in right field. So Luke Jennings waves and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. Pitch from Carpenter, the 0-1. A curveball finds the zone, 0-2. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. That one misses down, 1-2. Swung on and missed, and Jennings goes down on strikes. One run comes across for Phoenix in the third inning on one base hit. No runner is stranded. Head to the fourth with a 4-3 ball game on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Ready for the top of the fourth inning. So far for Henley, 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and they have left 2 runners on base. For Phoenix, 3 runs on 3 hits, 3 errors, and they have left 1 runner on base. Due up this half inning for Henley is going to be Chase Barrett, Derek Cox, and Ryan Douglas. That's the bottom third of the Henley order as they try to get back in front by more than just a single run as Chase Barrett swings and misses at strike 1. What a play by Chase Barrett in right field to get the second out in the last inning. Just laid out for it in foul territory to come away with the grab. Here he takes strike 2. Trying to get a rally started for his guys. He walked back in the second and came around to score. Here's the pitch. Misses upstairs, 1-2. Pitch on its way, 1-2 to Barrett. He checks his swing. Did he go? I don't believe so. The count 2-2. Watching Chase Barrett take an at-bat here. Haven't noticed his batting gloves until just now. He's got purple batting gloves with like a red trim. Looks very sleek. Here's the pitch. Down in the dirt, 3-2, and just like that, Chase Barrett works the count full. Put together a great at-bat in his last time around and doing the same here. He was one of 2 players to walk and come around to score in the second inning. The other waits on deck. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, down on strikes to start the 4th inning. And that will bring up Derek Cox. Cox was the other player, as I mentioned, to walk and score in the second inning. Looking to get on base and start a rally here. The pitch. Finds the zone, 0-1. Another delivery on the way. 0-2, a big curveball there to Cox. Watches it go by. And behind in the count, 0-2. Ryan Douglas waits on deck. Here's the delivery. Another curveball. That one misses high, 1-2. Pitch on its way. Fouled back towards the Henley dugout. Look out, Coach Connor. And Coach Deganey over there having a conversation. And, well, that one was a screamer towards the dugout. Luckily, everyone's okay. Here's the 1-2 to Cox. That one's hit in the air, right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Cox thinking about trying for a double. Instead, will settle for the 1-out single. And for Cox, second base hit of the season. Gets on base for Ryan Douglas. Douglas reached on an error and was caught in a pickle to end the second inning. Here's the pitch. Popped out of play, foul, 0-1. After Douglas, the Henley lineup card flips over. It's Connor Shively. Schultz back to working out of the stretch with the runner aboard at first. Takes a look at him, now moves home. That is flared out into right center field, a hit and run. Cox is digging for 3 as that ball gets down. He will wind up there, and the hit and run executed well as Ryan Douglas is aboard at first. Cox to third. 1 away, and here's Connor Shively. Chased a pitch out of the zone, but that's what they tell you to do on a hit-and-run attempt. Just make contact with the ball. Don't let our guy get thrown out trying to steal second. And he dove after a pitch running out of the zone, but was able to take it the other way. Just a good piece of hitting for Ryan Douglas. And now Shively, an RBI opportunity. Here's the pitch. Shively lifts one to the air. Foul. Could be playable. That's out of play. 0-1 the count. Shively in his previous 2 plate appearances has walked and singled. Singled and scored in the first. Walked and was out on the base paths in the second. Now in the third. In an 0-1 count. Pitch to Shively. That one misses high and away. The throw down to second to try and get Douglas is not going to be in time. 2 runners in scoring position now for Shively. And that ball missed as well. If I didn't say that, it's a 1-1 count to the Henley shortstop. Part of me, every time I say Shively's name, still wants to say Henley catcher, but he hasn't caught a game this season, I don't think. Not at least that I've seen him in conference play. But has done some real great work at shortstop this season and at the top of the order. Here's the pitch to Shively. That one misses wide. They count 2-1. After Shively, it's Mark Carpenter. Would love to get him up with some runners on base as well. The 2-1 to Shively is a curveball that misses out, 3-1. More than just one runner on base. You'd love to have them loaded. A big pitch coming up from Schultz, as that is probably the dead last thing he wants to do is face Carpenter with the bases loaded. The pitch. Shively may have chased one, but fouls it off. Count runs full, 3-2. Full count, 2 in scoring position. First base is open, but you don't want to give that up, like I said, with Carpenter on deck. Here's the full count pitch to Shively. Shively hits one on a line into right field. That's down for a single. 1 run will score. They're waving around Douglas. He will score. Henley up 6-3 on a 2 RBI single for Connor Shively. 3 base hits in a row for the Hornets, and it leads to 2 runs so far. Here's Mark Carpenter. Well, I guess we'll have to wait a moment for Carpenter's at-bat as the infield comes in to have a discussion with Schultz. No coach present, but they disperse. And we are just about ready to go for Carpenter's 3rd plate appearance of the game. He reached on an error in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second. Still looking for his first hit, though. Here's the first pitch to Mark Shively on the move. The throw down is not going to get there. In fact, it's going to wind up in center field. Shively pops up out of his slide and winds up at third. Carpenter now the pitcher, looking to just add another to the already 3-run Henley lead. Just about any ball in play will do it. The corner is playing straight away for Phoenix. Maybe a hard ground ball to the corner. You'd cut down Shively, but just about anything else, a ball in play could score a run for the Hornets. But now a 2-0 count to Carpenter as that one misses in around his shoelaces. After Mark in the Henley order, it's Jacoby Tacchini. Schultz. Steps, kicks, fires, checks his swing, but it's a called strike anyway, 2-1. Carpenter settles back in. He's got a wide batting stance. And here we go. Carpenter, a chopper to third, a foul ball. Count now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mark Carpenter. Mark walking his way back to the plate, picks up the bat, and here we go. Chokes up a little bit in a 2-strike count. Here's the approach from Carpenter. That one misses high, and the count is full. Next guy up, not much less dangerous than Carpenter. Like I said, Tacchini waiting. Here's the full count pitch to Carpenter. He fouls it off, stays alive. Count remains full. Carpenter batting .523. Here's the full count once more. Chases the high fastball, 4-strike-3, 2 away in the inning, and here's Jacoby Tacchini. Tacchini looking to knock that one in. That stands 90 feet away. It's Connor Shively. He reached on a 2 RBI single earlier in this inning. Stole second and then advanced to third when the throw wound up in center field. Here's the pitch. Tacchini hits one sky high, shallow left. Shortstop Phillips is called off by the third baseman Marsing. He will make the catch and end the inning. The Hornets score 2 on 3 base hits. They leave one stranded. They lead 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the 4th on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Bottom of the fourth inning, in the middle of the Phoenix order due up as they trail Henley 6-3. It'll be Caden Sousa, Caden Darcy, and Andre Marsing due up against Mark Carpenter. Henley added 2 more runs in the top half of this inning to build their lead out to 3. As they look for a series victory over Phoenix today. This is Game 3 of a 4-game series. Like we said, they played Game 1 back on Wednesday. They played Game 2 earlier today. And Game 4 will be played in the final day of the regular season. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. The big bender misses high. 1-0. Caden Sousa got a hold of the ball last time around. Sent a line drive down the right field line. And a double and an RBI helped get his team on the board in the first. Here he is up in the count 2-0. Pitch on its way from Carpenter. That one finds the outer third, and a nice job by Takini, maybe stealing a strike for his pitcher on the frame job there. We'll take it. 2-1, the count to Sousa. Here's the pitch. That one, same spot, 2-2. Carpenter does a great job of placing that outside fastball. Now with a pitch to work with, here he comes in the 2-2. Breaking ball, rolls back out to Carpenter. He fields it on a hop. Throw to first is going to be off the glove of Hamilton. And Sousa is safe at first. Just sort of inexplicable there between Hamilton's glove. I'm not quite sure what happened. But a runner aboard at first. Second Henley error of the game, and that will bring up Caden Darcy. Here's the pitch. That one in there, strike 1. Small lead off of first for Sousa. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2 from Darcy. He's 0 for 1 today. Struck out back in the first inning. Carpenter comes set. That one is lifted. Playable behind third base. Cox makes the catch for the first out. Now stepping in is Andre Marsing, 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Move over to first. Back safely is Sousa. Carpenter, another move over to first. Back safely. Now Carpenter finally ready to deliver to the plate. The slider is fouled off. The count 0-1 to Marsing. Time is called. And conversation with the home plate umpire. Try to listen in here. Well, I couldn't quite hear anything at all. So it's an 0-1 count, 1 away, runner at first, bottom of the fourth inning. And a 6-3 Henley lead in the second of 2 of a doubleheader today. Pitch on its way to Marsing. Curveball swung on and missed, 0-2. Last guy I'd want to face in an 0-2 count is Mark Carpenter. Just can go just about anywhere with this pitch. Here it comes. Fastball down and away, fouled off. Count remains 0-2. Even though Phoenix has scored 3 runs, got 3 hits as well, but 7 strikeouts for Carpenter, and he's looking for 8 here in an 0-2 count against Marsing. Kicks, delivers, bouncing ball out towards third. Cox tries to barehand it. Took a wicked hop off the infield grass. We saw that a few times in the opener today. Ground ball to third just takes huge hops. And again, Cox, through no fault of his own, just not the tallest player, and he tried to leap to barehand it, unable to make the play. And a single moves Sousa to second. Marsing aboard at first for Theo Hodgson. Carpenter set, now the runner in scoring position, and just one away. Here's the pitch. Misses low, 1-0. After Hodgson in the order, it's Luca Patron. Hodgson settling back in. He struck out in his first at-bat. Here's the 1-0. Sort of an excuse me swing and a roller to first. Hamilton is going to take it to his own bag for 1, but both runners otherwise advance. So 2 away, 2 in scoring position for Luca Patron. Patron also struck out in his first at-bat, but a chance, a base hit could bring his team within 1 run here. Looking at Luca Patron on the season as we pull up a couple stats for him. Batting 174 to start the year. Here's the first pitch from Carpenter. Swung on and missed on the curveball, 0-1. Patron with 3 RBIs coming into the game today. And again, 2 more out there waiting for him. Outfield shaded quite a bit to the right side. Here's the pitch. Another curveball finds the zone, 0-2. Great pitch from Carpenter. When he really has that curveball going, it is tough to hit. Carpenter ready with the 0-2. Trying to get out of a couple runners in scoring position. Here it comes. Looked at, strike 3, got him, and down goes Patron. The Pirates get 2 in scoring position, but they can't push any across. 6-3 going to the 5th on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
It starts to warm up outside. It's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Pal's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Top of the 5th inning, and Henley leads 6-3 against the Phoenix Pirates. It is Bo Pyle, Corbin Hamilton, and Shivam Patel due up this half for the Hornets as they try to build out their lead just a little bit. Looks like it's still Sam Schiltz out there on the hill for Phoenix. 2 runs came across in the last inning for Henley. 3 base hits to get there. But Phoenix, I'm not sure how deep their pitching staff is, but they're trusting their guy out there to try to keep things where they are. First pitch taken for a ball for Bo Pyle. Now again, here's the pitch from Schiltz. That one misses outside, 2-0. I talk about Phoenix's pitching. It's been their strength this year, quite frankly, their pitching has, and Henley has seen the most of that today. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, 2-0. You look at the games for Phoenix throughout the season, and the games that they win are the ones in which they keep the other opponent low scoring. Now, that seems obvious and trivial, but they're not scoring a ton of runs in these games either. The most runs they've scored this season is 12. That was back on March 28th against Sweet Home. Otherwise, all of their wins have been powered by good pitching. Pyle sends one deep left field. Back is Buckmaster. He will make the catch, going towards the wall for the first out. Now it's Corbin Hamilton, who's 0 for 2 today, batting now with 1 away in the 5th. Hamilton, he's got a tall batting stance as well. He's just a tall young man, about 6'2" or 6'3", depending on who you ask. Here he takes a curveball and an 0-1 count. One thing I've really enjoyed watching about Corbin as an athlete in entirety. Here's the 0-1. He fouls it off, 0-2. He's been a good baseball player now. He played with the Falcons during the summer, played a little bit for the Hornets. Even as a freshman, got some good varsity time. I have loved watching his progression as a basketball player. Now, here he is in an 0-2 count. Fouls that one off. Henley did not have the greatest boys basketball season this past year. But you look at a guy like Corbin Hamilton, who just grew so much throughout the course of an otherwise really tough season. He was one of the few bright spots. His development, one of the very few bright spots, and just really shined towards the end of the season for Henley. And I think if he continues to grow on the court, Henley's going to win more games next year than they did this season. And a lot of it is going to be due to Corbin's progression. And again, just an all-around good athlete. That's how you know he is, because he can improve it in baseball. He can improve in basketball. Just a good player. Here he takes the 1-2 pitch low, 2-2. Pitch on its way from Schiltz. That is going to freeze up Hamilton. Got strike 3 looking for the second out in the 5th inning. For Schiltz today, that's his 3rd strikeout on the mound. And in steps Shivam Patel. Shiv is 0 for 2 today. Ground out and a fly out so far. Looking for new luck here in the 5th. Here it comes. First pitch swing and fouled for Shivam. 0-2. Pardon me, 0-1. The count to Patel. And the pitch. Curveball, he looked at that one for strike 2. Schiltz really breaking off that curveball well here in the middle innings. See where he goes here ahead 0-2 against Patel. Here's the pitch. That one misses high, 1-2. Wind picking up a little bit, change in direction. Nice breeze here, and again, about 67 degrees here in Talent. Patel chases strike 3. They throw down to first after the pitch in the dirt, and they got him. So a strikeout to end the 5th as we go to the bottom half on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Henley leads 6-3.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Be great.
Participate!
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media.
The information of 24-hour news.
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
It'll be the top of the Phoenix order due up in the fifth. That's Sam Schiltz, Caden Cunningham, and Chris Phillips as Henley leads 6-3. Here in the bottom of the fifth inning, we can check in on some other scores from around the Skyline Conference. Looks like Hidden Valley has continued to pile on. Klamath Union up 17-0 there. Taking a look at, looks like Henley leading Phoenix on the softball diamond 8-4. So there's a couple score updates for you there. We saw earlier today, Mazama defeated Modoc from Alturas 7-5. And yesterday, a couple of wins for Lost River over Cross Point Christian 17-2 and 18-4. First pitch to Schiltz, the bender called strike one. Schiltz today is 1 for 2. Reached on an error in the first and singled in the third. Took strike two on the outside. Schiltz was left stranded on base both previous times. Here Carpenter comes with the 0-2. Curveball lined back up the middle and into center field. And a single for Schiltz. Brings up Caden Cunningham. Nice piece of hitting, really, for Schiltz there. 2 strikes against Carpenter. And he found a way to get on base and make great contact with the 0-2 pitch. Carpenter visibly frustrated after allowing that base hit, but he's got to find his center again and come after Caden Cunningham. First pitch misses outside, 1-0. Caden Cunningham today in this game is 0 for 2. He struck out a pair of times already today. It's a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. Ground ball to short. Shively up with it. Underhand toss to Pyle at second, and they will not get the double play as Cunningham beats out the back end. But a fielder's choice allows Cunningham to reach first. And there's now one away in the inning. Here's Chris Phillips. Couple of RBI for Phillips today on sacrifices. He grounded out in the first, flew out in the third, but again, RBI on both of those plate appearances. Here he bats without a runner in scoring position, but he does have Cunningham over there at first. He takes ball one high. And Luke Jennings is on deck. Carpenter looks in, gets the sign. Takini sets up for an inside pitch. Instead, they're going to throw over to first, and back over there is Cunningham. Carpenter set once more. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back. 1-1. Phoenix scored 2 runs in the first. They added 1 more in the third, but they still trail Henley 6-3 in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Check swing on the curveball, but it finds the outer third. A great pitch there from Carpenter moves the count to 1-2. Carpenter delivers. Another curveball. This one misses on the outside. 2-2. Phillips is having to wait. Is another throw from Carpenter to Hamilton. I think Hamilton must have a hole in that glove or side. It's just not working for him. I mean, that was a pickoff move, and he couldn't catch it. That's the third one that's just been in and out of his glove. So he's going to switch gloves again and cut back out there. It's a 2-2 count to Chris Phillips. Phillips, true. He almost swung at strike 3 in the dirt, but holds up in time. And the count is full. Working a good at-bat here is Chris Phillips. Only one base hit today. Came in his very first at-bat of the first game. Here he sends a line drive. It is foul down the first base side. Have to go back. Line drive down the first base side was called foul by the home plate umpire. And so we'll do it again, 3-2. Phoenix fans thought it was a double down the line. Hard to disagree with them, but here we are, 3-2. Hit in the air, out of play, foul. So, again, Phillips battling up there at the plate. Making Carpenter throw a lot of pitches. We'll see where he goes now. Carpenter set the 3-2 once more. That one misses, and a walk will put a runner into scoring position for Luke Jennings. Jennings so far today has singled and struck out. Carpenter steps off, move over to second, but back safely is Cunningham. No throw. The pitch. Check swing. He did not go around. Ball 1 to Luke Jennings. Singled in the first, struck out in the third. Carpenter looks in, gets the sign from Takini behind the plate. Looks back the runner at second and delivers. That pitch is going to miss low. 2-0. Carpenter just trying to find the zone here. Have someone put the ball in play. You have an opportunity to turn a double play, but Jennings might show some speed coming out of the box. We'll see. Move over to second. Back safely again is Cunningham. Carpenter set. Here's the 2-0. That one misses high, 3-0. Phoenix dugout very vocal. Trying to throw Mark off his game, it seems. As Caden Sousa waits on deck. Carpenter set with the 3-0. Trying to avoid loading the bases. The pitch. A curveball throws for ball 4. Carpenter can't believe that wasn't strike 1. I got to say I'm with him. That is a walk issued to Phillips. And that will load the bases to Luke Jennings. Really not sure where that one must have missed. Sousa bats with the bases loaded. He had a double in the first, and he reached on an error in the fourth. A big opportunity with the tying run on base. Carpenter comes set. Here's the pitch. That curveball is in the zone, a very similar location to the previous pitch, which was called a ball, this time in the zone. Carpenter gets ahead of Sousa. Cunningham at third, Phillips at second, Jennings at first. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. That one misses low, 1-1. After Sousa, it's Caden Darcy, who will hope to continue a rally for the Phoenix Pirates. Middle infield at double play depth. At the corners, they're in. Here's the pitch. That one in the zone. Another curveball, 1-2 as Sousa watched that one go by him. Carpenter set. And the pitch. Fouls that one back. Count remains 1-2 for Caden Sousa. Carpenter that time going with the fastball. Sousa a bit late on it, but he did get a piece of it, so he stays alive in this at-bat. Carpenter comes together, kicks, fires that pitch in the dirt. Takini blocks it. Count moves now to 2-2. Again, the corners, Cox and Hamilton. Well, Hamilton's not playing too far in over there at first, but Cox playing in on the cut of the grass. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. That one also in the dirt. Gets away from Takini for a moment, but he recollects in time, and the count is full. Big pitch coming up for Mark Carpenter. Bases loaded in a full count, 1 out. Carpenter has walked the last 2 batters. Shakes off Takini on the first pitch. Now finds what he wants. Here he comes, the 3-2. Curveball swung on and missed, and that got Sousa. Big strikeout there for Carpenter. Now 2 away in the inning, and it's Caden Darcy to bat. Darcy struck out and has flown out so far. And now Carpenter trying to leave the bases loaded. Here's the pitch. That one's hit, playable in foul territory. Cox underneath it, makes the catch, and the Hornets get out of the jam. Keeping a 3-run lead, heading to the 6th. Next on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Top of the 6th inning, and Henley leads Phoenix 6-3. For Henley so far, 6 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, and they've left 3 runners on base. For Phoenix, 3 runs on 5 hits. They've committed 3 errors, and they've left 6 runners on base. Looks like we've got a new pitcher in for Phoenix as well. Looks like it's Caden Sousa. And let's see. It looks like we'll get the other changes for you here in just a moment. So Sousa on the mound. We've got Schultz now out at second, and Jennings has moved over to first. So there's your changes for Phoenix. So we can give you the final line score then on Sam Schultz, the starting pitcher for Phoenix. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs of which 2 were earned. He walked 3 and struck out 4 in 92 pitches. Curious on the flip side how many pitches Mark Carpenter has thrown. This game has been a lot of long at-bats for both teams, but Sam Schultz is the first one to blink, as it were, as Henley has got the bottom third of the order due up. Chase Barrett, Derek Cox, and Ryan Douglas. So they try to add a couple more here in the 6th inning. We'll take a look at Caden Sousa and his season so far in just a moment after this first pitch to Chase Barrett. It is called a strike. A breaking ball on the outside found the zone. Sousa in his 5th game this season. It'll be his 3rd in relief. He's without a decision so far in 6 2/3 innings pitched. He has got an ERA of 7.5. Here, Barrett grounds one out to third. Phillips makes the throw in time to first, and that'll be the first out in the 6th inning. Here's Derek Cox, who's reached base twice today, once on a walk, once on a single, came around to score both times. Sousa, the right-hander, back on the hill. And we are ready with one out in the 6th. Here's the pitch. That one finds the zone. 0-1. Sousa, a tall player. He's going to step off before this pitch. But he's got a fairly long stride. That's why I bring up his height. Allows him to get a little extra velocity behind those fastballs. That time a curveball came in and hit Cox. He'll get on base. Now Ryan Douglas bats with one out and runner on first. Douglas is 1 for 2 today. He reached on an error in the 2nd, singled and scored in the 4th. Here's the pitch to Douglas. Misses wide. 1-0. Small lead off of first for Cox. Nothing really great to speak of over there. He takes another half step as Sousa comes set. Cox is on the move. There's a pop-up. It is going to be out of play. And the count now 1-1. See if they've got Cox on the move again. After showing a steal on the 1-0 count, now on a 1-1 count. At the plate is Douglas. Sousa set. And the pitch On its way, Cox on the move again. A bounce here up the middle. It is fielded on top of second base for one. And that is all that they'll get. The lead runner goes down as Douglas reaches on a fielder's choice. The hit and run would have worked perfectly if it was hit just about anywhere else on the field. Unfortunately, right over second base, and that is an easy out for the defense to make. So now 2 away, runner still at first, top of the Henley order, it's Connor Shively. Sousa set. And will step off. Taking a look at Connor Shively today, couple of base hits and 2 RBI in the 4th inning. He also walked, so he's reached base every time today. Move over to first. Back safely is Douglas. Sousa checks the runner at first, now comes set. Here's the pitch, Douglas on the move. Shively lifts one into left field. The left fielder coming in, sliding, but it got down in front of him. And since the hit and run was on, Douglas wound up at third as Shively reaches on the single. And here is Mark Carpenter. Mark, who's been a little bit frustrated today with his own performance on the mound, although he's only given up 3 runs. He struck out 7 or 8. He's just given up a couple singles in some unfortunate spots, but a chance to help out his own cause here and maybe shed some of that frustration, take it out on the baseball a little bit as he steps in with Douglas at third and Shively at first with 2 outs in the 6th. Sousa now set. Here's the pitch. That one misses high and in. Runner on the move, and they're not going to throw down. Shively in at second safely. Base hit for Mark, could score a couple. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Timeout is called, and we've got the Phoenix pitching coach coming on out to talk with his guy. I'm not quite sure if there was a designed cut from the pitcher to try to limit the runner scoring from third or if they were trying to get him with 2 outs. It's hard to say exactly what went wrong there for Phoenix or if anything went wrong at all. And that could be what they're discussing out there. Want to remind you today's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Pacific Power Foundation, who donated nearly $70,000 in 2024 to organizations like the Klamath County Rotary, to Cross Point Christian School, and to the Oregon Tech Foundation. It's a 1-0 count to Mark Carpenter. 2 runners in scoring position with Shively aboard at second, Douglas aboard at third. A 6-3 ball game sees Henley leading Phoenix in the top of the 6th. Caden Sousa, the right-hander for Phoenix, comes set, kicks, delivers, and Carpenter watches strike 1 there on the outer third. Carpenter today has reached on an error, reached on a fielder's choice, and struck out in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Line drive down the third base line. That's going to score a couple. Carpenter trying to get in and dig for 2, and he will. And a 2 RBI double puts Henley up 8-3. It's a way to break out of it for Carpenter. Just what the doctor ordered, in fact. Couple runs home, and here's Jacoby Tacchini looking to add another with 2 outs in the 6th. Tacchini settling in. Sousa shakes off the first sign from Cunningham. And now finally agrees. Here's the pitch. Takini, a chopper to third. That's going to be off the glove of the third baseman, Marsing. And everybody's safe on the error at third. Carpenter advancing, and here's Bo Pyle. Pyle 0 for 3 today. He's hit the ball well all 3 times, but they've all been fly balls to the outfield. And he's hit it to left field twice and center field once. Even in the previous game, Pyle had an extra base hit, otherwise hit the ball hard. It just didn't get on base. RBI in the first game as well. Looking to do it again here. Pyle has his first pitch missed wide. 1-0. Porter Frost advancing to second on that play as he ran for Jacoby Takini. 2 in scoring position for Bo Pyle, and he's ahead in the count 1-0. Sousa steps off. What are we thinking? Is there 1 out or 2 outs? I think that's what they're discussing. There is 2 outs. I've got it in my book here. And now we know. From the windup, Caden Sousa flips in a curveball that misses outside, 2-0. After Pyle, it's Corbin Hamilton. If the Hornets are able to keep this rally going in the 6th. Pitch on its way. That one misses down. The count 3-0 to Pyle. First base is open with Hamilton on deck. Big lead off of second for Porter Frost. He's almost halfway down the third base line as Pyle works a walk on the 3-0 count. So Corbin Hamilton to bat now. He's 0 for 3 today. A couple of flyouts and a strikeout on the ledger for him, at least in this game. If you go back to the previous game for Corbin, he was 2 for 4 with an RBI in the late going. Trying to come up big for his squad. Here's the pitch. Hamilton swings and misses at the inside fastball, down in the count 0-1. Hamilton awaiting the pitch from Sousa. Here it comes. Two-seamer. Misses high. I think Sousa's a bit confused about that one, but there we go. It is a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Hamilton fouls that one off. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. Two outs in the inning. Sousa trying to leave him stranded. Big pitch coming up for Corbin. Here it is. Hamilton watches that one miss wide. Gets away from the catcher Cunningham. Carpenter breaks for the plate. Slides in safely. Henley up 9-3. A pass ball allowed Carpenter to score there. Henley now extends their lead to 6 in the top of the 6th inning. It's a 2-2 count at the plate for Corbin Hamilton with 2 on and 2 out. Hamilton takes that one high and the count runs full. After Corbin in the order, it's Shivam Patel. They're actually going to have a new batter hitting for Patel. I'll get you who that is if we get there. As that pitch misses low, we will get there. Bases are loaded. Trying to find out who exactly number 16 is for Henley. Not on my roster here. Let's take a look. Some of our other resources. Looks like it's going to be Hunter Glidden from what I can tell. And there he is, Hunter Glidden stepping in. Here's the pitch. Swings and chases at a pitch out of the zone, 0-1. Bases are loaded for Glidden as he hits for Patel here. Patel exits the game after going 0 for 3. Pitch misses wide, 1-1. This will be Glidden's first at-bat of league play, I believe. If we go back and look at some of his non-conference stats, he's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Finds the zone, 1-2. Here's the pitch from Sousa, the 1-2. That one misses, gets by Cunningham. Breaking for the plate is Frost, and he will score 10-3. Everyone else up a station as well. 2 runners in scoring position for the new entrant, Hunter Glidden. Here it comes from Sousa. Strike 3 called, and that will end the inning. Glidden goes down looking, but the Hornets score 4, and they do it on just 2 base hits. 1 Phoenix error as they trail Henley 10-3. Bottom of the 6th next on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Bottom of the 6th inning, it's the bottom of the Phoenix order due up with Andre Marsing, Theo Hodgden, and Luca Patron to try to cut into this 7-run deficit they find themselves in. Henley scored 4 runs in the top half of the inning to build out this lead just a little bit more. And for Phoenix, you'd love to chip away a little bit in this inning. Try not to leave it all up to the 7th. But Mark Carpenter still out there on the hill. He's thrown well, all things considered. He's gotten himself into a couple of jams, but he's also gotten himself out of those jams. So here he begins the 6th. It's a ground ball to short and through into center field. And a base hit. This will bring up Theo Hodgden. Hodgden bats after the leadoff single for Marsing, making him 2 for 3. For Hodgden, he's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. Hit in the air, foul. 0-1 the count. Luca Patron waits on deck. Carpenter set. Here's the pitch. Big curveball misses in. 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one is going to be a foul ball. Hodgson fouled it off himself. It bounced in front of the plate and then came up and hit him in the elbow. He looks to be okay. But now a 1-2 count to Hodgson. Carpenter set. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Hodgson down on strikes for the second time today. That brings up Luca Patron. Getting the signs from his coach down at third before this at-bat where he hits with one out and a runner on first. Patron has gone down on strikes in each of his first two at-bats today. Here's the pitch. Curveball, fouled it off. Looked like it got Tacchini on the hand and not the one with a glove on it. We'll see if he's okay. He's waving off his coach, says don't come out here. We're all good. But the home plate umpire is going to walk the ball out to Carpenter just to give Tacchini a second. And he looks to be okay. I'll tell you this much. That doesn't feel great. But like I said before, Tacchini's a tough kid back there. He wants to keep catching, and he will. So Patron gets ready to step back in an 0-1 count. Lineup card flips over next for Phoenix with Sam Schiltz waiting on deck. Carpenter move over to first. Back safely. Mark looks in, gets the sign from Jacoby. Now the pitch. Hard grounder to third. Cox plays it on a hop. To second for one. No, it's off the glove of Pyle and into right field. That's going to allow the runner to move up to third. And an E4 puts runners at the corners for Sam Schiltz. Carpenter thought he might have been out of this inning. Perfectly able to get that double play there, but another situation where just a Hornet doesn't catch the ball that's thrown to him. This is the third time it's happened in this game. Now Sam Schiltz bats with one away and runners at the corner. Schiltz is 2 for 3 today. Here's the pitch. Hit in the air, foul, 0-1. Just an off day, it seems, for the Henley defense with those miscues, but trying to shape up. A double play is still in order to get out of the sixth. So we'll see if they're able to get something happen, if Carpenter can keep things where they are. Move over to first. Back safely. There is a runner at third. Again, that's Marsing. Here's the pitch. Curveball misses out, 1-1. Move over to first. And again, back safely at first is Patron. Carpenter trying to get him leaning over there. Patron on the move. This one fouled back. Count 1-2. Patron was got an extra little step there. Could kind of tell he was stealing on that one, but Carpenter opted not to throw over there. Instead, delivered to the plate, and the pitch was fouled off by Schiltz. See if Patron's on the move again. Not as big of a lead as before, but they move over to him again. He's back safely. Decent lead this time. Patron is on the move. This time a pitch high. The throw down to second is in time, and they got him. A run does come in to score as Marsing broke for the plate. It's now a 10-4 ball game, but the bases are empty with 2 outs now and a 2-2 count. I think all things considered, that's a pretty good trade for Henley. Let that run come in. You're still up by 6, but now you have 2 outs in the inning. Can afford to trade a couple outs for runs here. Schultz in a 2-2 count. Carpenter back out of the windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and that will end the 6th inning. Henley goes to the 7th, up 10-4 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Be great.
Participate.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
The information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Ready to go with the top of the 7th inning, and Henley leads Phoenix 10-4 here on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Appreciate you being with us on the radio today, and however you may have found us, appreciate you for finding us at all. Of course, the full video replay of this broadcast will be uploaded on mybasin.com. I had a bit of technical difficulty out here at Culver Fields, just not fast enough internet connection for us to reliably go with the live video stream like we usually do. So we decided to just record it, so that way when we go to upload it after, it's in full quality, no buffering, no any of that stuff that would have almost certainly happened had we tried to live stream today's game. So appreciate you finding us on the radio if you did, and thank you for being with us on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Due up in the top half of the 7th for Henley, it's Chase Barrett, Derek Cox, and Ryan Douglas. Still against Caden Sousa on the mound for Phoenix. Henley scored 4 runs in the top half of the 6th. Hoping to add some more insurance here as that pitch misses down 1-0. Sousa ready with the 1-0. Misses down 2-0. Today for Chase Barrett, at least in this game, 0 for 2. He did walk and score in the 2nd. Since then, he has struck out and grounded out. Here he fouls one off his foot, 2-1. Home plate umpire again, just trying to give Barrett a little bit of time to recuperate after fouling it off his foot. So he'll walk a new ball out to the pitcher, walk on back, and we're ready for baseball. It's a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Hit in the air, right field. Darcy makes the catch for the first out. Now it's Derek Cox, who has walked, singled, and been hit by a pitch so far. He's also scored a pair of runs. Those came in the 2nd and 4th innings. Sousa ready to deliver the pitch. Cunningham sets up outside. Cox grounds one over to third. Marsings plays it on a hop, throw to first in time. 2 outs in the 7th. And now it's Ryan Douglas to bat for Henley. Douglas has reached on an error, singled, and reached on a fielder's choice so far in the game. He's scored 2 runs in the 4th and 6th innings. So it looks like Sousa ready to deliver the pitch. Here he comes. Line drive out towards second, and it rolls up past Schiltz and into right field. And the inning is extended on an error, bringing up Connor Shively. Fifth error of the day for Phoenix. These teams have combined for 8. Here's Shively. Shively has singled 3 times today, reached on a walk otherwise. This is a good day for the on-base percentage for the Henley shortstop. Sousa steps off. He'll throw over, but Douglas back safely without a slide. Sousa now on the rubber, looks over at the runner before delivering. Shively takes a pitch outside. Douglas on the move. The throw is in time. Douglas is out, and that will end the inning. Henley up 10-4. Phoenix last of the 7th up next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside. It's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Pal's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Henley looking to close out a win over Phoenix in the second of a doubleheader today from Talent, Oregon. It's 10-4 going to the 7th. We've got a new pitcher on the mound for Henley. It'll be Corbin Hamilton. We'll take a look at him in just a moment, but I want to close the book on Mark Carpenter first, who pitched the first 6 innings of the day, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 of them earned, and he struck out 11 in 99 pitches. A good day there for Carpenter. And Corbin Hamilton comes in relief of the deadly right-hander. Taking a look at Corbin this season, he's a deadly right-hander himself. This is his 7th appearance of the season, 3rd in relief, 17 1/3 innings pitched, 3-0 record, and a .8 ERA. He'll have to go up against Caden Cunningham, Chris Phillips, and Luke Jennings to start this bottom of the 7th inning as Henley looks to come away with a doubleheader sweep of Phoenix and a series win on the season. Even with 1 more remaining after today as we get ready to go in the bottom of the 7th inning. Caden Cunningham stepping in first. He has struck out twice and reached on a fielder's choice. Oh, by the way, for Henley, a couple of other defensive changes as Hamilton comes in to pitch. He is replaced at first by Ian Meyer. Mark Carpenter stays in the game, and he is moved over to third. Cox is the one who exits the game, and Glidden is in left. Forgot to mention that from when he entered the game in for Shiv Patel a bit earlier. Here's the pitch from Hamilton. Fly ball, left center field. Could be trouble. The catch is made. Oh, my. What a catch there for Cox. I believe that was him over there. Yes, it was. Oh, man. What a catch out there. Thought he exited the game, thought Pyle would be out there, but Pyle is gone. Cox is out there, and he really makes a great play running backwards from second base. Looked like Willie Mays out there patrolling center, but he's just at second base. Great job for the first out in the 7th inning. That brings up Chris Phillips. He lifts one foul 0-1. I apologize for not noticing him out there earlier. Thought that Pyle was going to stay in the game at second, but he exited. Cox still out there, and clearly for good reason. That was a great defensive play. Hamilton fires the fastball past Phillips, 0-2 the count. Hamilton back on the hill, ready with the 0-2. Here it comes. Line drive, right field, foul. So we'll do it again in an 0-2 count. Hamilton now from the windup. Takes a look at a ball on the outside, 1-2. Now the pitch from Hamilton, that one in the dirt. The count is now 2-2. That one is a check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. So now the count is full. 3-2. And they work a walk. A nice job there by Chris Phillips after being down on the count 0-2 to get on base with a one-out walk. Here comes Luke Jennings, swings and misses at strike one. Pitch fouled straight back. And the count is now 0-2. Trying to look for the strikeout pitch is Hamilton, and he got it. Chasing on the outer third is Jennings, down on strikes, and now the Pirates down to their final out. In now is Caden Sousa. Started the game at first. Now pitching. Trying to extend this game for his team. Runner on the move. The throw down to second. Not going to be in time. In safely at second is Chris Phillips. Sousa trying to step back in. Hamilton out of the stretch. That one misses high. That one is also going to miss high. I believe the count now 3-0 to Sousa. Hamilton trying to slam the door. They're not making it easy. Hamilton set with the 3-0 to Sousa. The pitch. That one is in there. And a 3-1 count. Sousa thought that was ball 4, and in fact it's strike 1. Hamilton trying to battle back. Here's a pitch. Hit in the air, right field. That one is deep. Going back to the wall is Barrett. That is going to hop over the wall. And a ground rule double will score a run. It is now 10-5. Sousa with his second RBI double of the day. Scores Phillips and will bring up Caden Darcy. This one swung on and missed by Darcy. Behind the count now 0-1. Hamilton set, kicks, and delivers. That one is a swinging strike. Got away from Takini. Sousa advancing to third. Thought it might have been a foul ball. Instead, it's just strike 2. Sousa in at third. And the Pirates down to their final out. Or their final strike, rather. They've been down to their final out for a moment, but Sousa extending the inning with the double. Now Darcy just one strike away from ending it. Here's the pitch. Looked at for strike 3, and the Hornets are victorious to the tune of 10-5 over the Phoenix Pirates. We'll be back to wrap this one up for you on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Welcome back to 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Final score here, Henley victorious 10-5. 10 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors, 6 left for the Hornets. 5 runs on 7 hits, 5 errors for Phoenix, and they left 7 runners on base. Your winning pitcher today for Henley is Mark Carpenter, who worked 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 earned, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. Your losing pitcher today was Sam Schiltz, who pitched the first 5 innings for Phoenix, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned, and 4 strikeouts. Looking at Henley, going to have to give the Pacific Power play of the day to Mark Carpenter, a 2-run RBI double in the 6th inning, not only for adding some insurance to his team, but just shaking off a displeasing performance for him. It's one of the signs of a really solid competitor. I was impressed by Mark Carpenter today, but he was frustrated with himself throughout today's game, but he was able to find some composure, hit a 2 RBI double in the 6th inning. That is my Pacific Power play of the day. A couple other notables for Henley before we head off the air today. Let's go ahead and highlight Connor Shively, 3 for 3, 3 RBI today, 2 for 4 day for Jacoby Tacchini with an RBI. Derek Cox and Ryan Douglas, each a base hit as well. Corbin Hamilton pitching the final inning in relief for Henley. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts for Corbin. For this win, Henley on the season, they improve to 10-2, 6-0 in the Skyline Conference. Phoenix falls to 3-8, 1-5 in the Skyline Conference. Taking a look at the schedule ahead for Henley, we'll be back on Wednesday against Klamath Union at Kiger Stadium, beginning a 3-game series with them next week, Wednesday at Kiger, and then a couple at home against Klamath Union at Henley High School. Meantime, for the Phoenix Pirates, they are at home against Mazama on Wednesday before traveling over the hill to Viking Nation on Friday next week. I want to thank everybody who made today's broadcast possible, all the head coaches for helping us out, Sean Teeters, Bill Hutchinson for both teams, and of course Rob Sims, our scorekeeper, making sure I halfway know what I'm talking about up here. Thank you as well for finding our stream or our broadcast replay, wherever it did find you. I know we had a couple technical difficulties, but thank you for being a part of Henley baseball this season. Once again, final scores of a doubleheader today, 4-2 in the opener, and a 10-5 final for the Hornets in the nightcap. My name is Josh Eldridge. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your Easter weekend. And until Wednesday, I'll see you next time. Have a good one and good night from Talent, Oregon.